We're going to be talking about environmental and occupational allergy. So can I ask you to introduce yourself, please?
My name is Jolanta Walusiak-Storupa. I am occupational medicine physician, especially specialized in occupational allergy, and I am head of Department of Occupational Diseases from Poland.
Hello, my name is Monika Raulf. I came from Germany, from an Institute of Prevention and Occupational Medicine, and I am a biologist and I studied also chemistry, and I'm a head of the department Allergy, Immunology in this department.
So about this special interest group, what is the work that you're doing and why do you think it's so important?
Oh, because environmental and occupational exposure is very important to improve, to make allergy, and they are key factors for allergy.
Can you give us an example of the sorts of things that you're dealing with?
Oh, the sort of things we are dealing with: exposure assessment, for example, and also with diagnostic purposes. And we try to enhance diagnostic tools and make diagnostic easier for occupational allergies and especially for asthma, and to make some consensus protocols all over Europe to find all complete consensus statement about the challenge or the diagnostic things.
What are the biggest developments in the field right now, the most interesting developments?
I think we characterize several occupational allergens, and we try to harmonize also some protocols to find good solution for our patients, that we make very early find risk factors and very early find good ways for preventing these allergies.
Now this is a subject area that is universal. It affects everybody everywhere. How important is teamwork, do you think?
I think it's crucial, especially in such a field like ours, occupational allergy, when there are little patients with occupational allergy, and when we collect our data, when we collect our patients to perform some evaluations, that what Monika was saying, we standardized some skin prick tests, and it was much easier to perform that internationally when we could perform that in different centers who are specialized in occupational allergy. In fact, it's quite small group and we know each other in Europe. We met here. We started here at European Academy, and it's fantastic that we can exchange our experience and collect data.
So did you know each other before you were involved in EAACI, or did that develop later? Because that's one of the key things about membership of EAACI. The networking opportunities are just so phenomenal.
I know these people from their publications, but all important people with whom I cooperate now, I met here at EAACI.
So what would you say are the biggest gaps in the knowledge that you're working together on?
You know, in occupational allergy, there are still some gaps due to big diversity of occupational allergens. It's very difficult to collect and compare specific data. So we have still some discussion on risk factors and its real value. Especially it's important when patient is atopic. Can he start working in occupational exposure to any allergens or not? We never know. Some of them asked the patient to quit the exposure, some of us let them stay into, but it's not decided. It's really good for him, especially then when a patient quits exposure, there is a decrease in his quality of life. So the problem for all of us from different European countries is that our patients don't want to tell us they have occupational allergy. Because if they have work-related problem, it means they shouldn't work, and they don't want to do that.
So they'll suffer, they'll just carry on.
They will suffer, they will be going to a doctor and take medicines, and they don't say a word.
Okay, so what is the link between the environment, allergy, and say asthma?
Oh, I think it's very complex because besides air pollution, we have also some problems with climate change and enhanced exposure. And this is really a problem, and it's a very complex area, and not only one factor is important. And we have this size that we have this problem that with climate change, for example, we have that the blowing area or the blowing period will become longer, and also the allergen content of one pollen, for example, will enhance, and the diversity of pollen are spreading around. And we have also invasive plants in some areas that are not normally, or that are not resistant there, and so they spread around and bring new allergens in the area.
So not only are there massive developments in the field, but there are also massive developments in literally the field of the environment too. So far more variables than you might ever imagine.
Yeah, we have several air pollution, for example. We have ozone in the air, and these ozone and climate change, that means we have higher temperature, the warm area, and also invasive plants, as I told before. And this makes it very, I think, very complicated for allergic people. They cannot go to some area, and we have now not really a new area where we have no allergen content.
So that's with the environment, but one of the key things about life is the consumption of food, and there's an enormous amount of research that's shown now that people are becoming more and more allergic to certain food types, not just peanuts.
Yes, but food is not main our topic, but we have seen in our last task force paper, for example, that we are looking for people who are processing food in their job, and we have summarized that especially working with food or processing food is a high exposure, and these exposure lead to several allergens and some work-related problems.
Now, I have to say that is an aspect of it that hadn't occurred to me. So if you do suffer and you have to work in the food industry, then massive, massive problem.
Yeah.
What do you think that your work at EAACI is doing to further the understanding of these sorts of issues?
I think we have to spread all this information we summarized in our position paper or in our discussion, to bring them to the patient and especially to the supervisor of the workers, and to be more aware about the problems at the workplace, especially when you handle special food. You have not to make such a dusty atmosphere. You have to reduce this atmosphere for dustiness, and you can change your handling with the products, especially, for example, when you used not dusty material, you used more granulated material. You reduced or you enhance the particular side of these different things, and that make it easier that the workplace is more safe.
Okay, so that's working at a micro level within the industry. What about the bigger picture here, and how can government and the EU get involved, and what can you do to educate them about the issue and how many people it affects?
We can give them all the information they need to introduce proper legislation. And it's the first thing, but the most important, I think, is to increase awareness of all people, of dissidents, of governments, but also of producers of food, also of people who eat this food, who use this. So everyone should be aware that it may contain some hazards which are allergenic to a particular patient.
Jolanta, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Monica, thank you too.
Thank you.
That's all from EAACI TV for now.